In the modern world, running a bank is like a game of chess. You have to think smart and play smart too. You cannot put all your eggs in one basket, neither can you risk having them too scattered. As the game of chess often pans out, you have to work harder with your mind and toil throughout the day and sometimes throughout the night to get the venture running. Days, months, and seasons may slide quietly past you as you dig in to make the investment work. You have to water it, tend to it with dedication and unwavering commitment. You must make the choice to never stop investing your time and a heart in the bank. Indeed, for every investor who has ever started a bank from scratch, the story is always the same. There is nothing that comes easy. As you get up every morning and work at your tie with diligence so you may look smart, you also are consciously keen to look the part. The journey of your struggle to make it happen can only be told through someone else's eye. For Sumac Microfinance Bank Limited, the story remains a remarkable voyage of men who decided they would try their hand in the market and see how far they would go. With a minimum investment of only 500,000 Kenya shillings worth of savings at the start, today Sumac Microfinance Bank is the third most profitable microfinance institution in Kenya with an asset base of 2 billion Kenya shillings, and it has only taken 8 years to make this happen. This is the remarkable story of Sumac Microfinance Bank's rise from a mere investment group to a giant multi-million banking venture with the future family on its radar. We spent time with the bank's CEO, Mr. John G. here, who was kind enough to take us through the momentous journey of a bank that has been getting rave reviews from business people in the Kenyan market and whose star seems to be shining bright every day. As it turns out, there is more than meets the eye on the behind-the-scenes effort to transform Sumac Microfinance Bank into a formidable player in the Kenyan financial market.
I joined Sumac in the year 2015, and previously for the last 22 years I was working in the insurance industry. The 10 years I was with Alexander Forbes Insurance Brokers. Then I jumped ship to UAP. I worked in UAP Insurance Kenya for 5 years. Then I was tasked to go and open their subsidiary in Rwanda. That was the year 2012. So I was in Rwanda for 3 years, being the finance manager. And then I decided to come back home. Great. And that's when I landed into Sumac.
Upon joining Sumac Microfinance Bank from Rwanda, where he had worked in different firms for almost 3 years, Mr. G here took the wheel at the helm of the bank and immediately set himself at work to meet the needs of the day. It has been 5 years since he became CEO, and the growth at Sumac has been indeed remarkable. Right at the start of his tenure, Mr. G here was tasked by the board of directors with a number of objectives for which he needed to deliver, and he was kind enough to share with us about those key undertakings.
When I came into Sumac, we had to draw a strategic plan that was to guide us for the next 5 years. And some of the objectives that we set ourselves, one and the biggest was to grow the business profitably.
Growing the business profitably as a strategic objective also meant the mobilization of low-cost funds, which would directly imply the need for management of the bank's operating costs. Mr. Njihia was also tasked with growing the bank's loan book, which stood at 289 million Kenya shillings in 2015 when he took over. By the end of 2019, that figure had risen to a record 1.4 billion Kenya shillings, and this achievement in just under 5 years. The board also tasked him to spearhead the development and implementation of efficient and effective systems and structures. Further, Sumac Microfinance Bank needed to have a robust marketing strategy to help the institution properly grow as a brand and expand its market share in the country. Coupled with that, a fledgling human resource restructuring was needed to help the bank meet the ever-rising demand from the market for quality service and customer retention. Mr. Njihia was therefore tasked to acquire, retain and develop appropriate talent. Most importantly too, Njihia was to spearhead the development of proper governance structures.
There are some that we have achieved, others we have not achieved fully, like the mobilization of the notebook. We have moved it from 289 million, as I said, to about 1.4 billion. Of course, I would like our loan book to continue growing, so we are still not there. Yeah, we have also been mobilizing deposits. Yeah, I got it at, as I can check my numbers, at 127 million. We have been able to grow it to about 750 million.
With the customer deposits looking impressive, Mr. Njihia has worked with a team of dedicated board of directors, senior managers, and the members of staff at large to continue raising the stakes. Everyone in the Sumac fraternity, as it seems, has acquired the DNA to market Sumac Microfinance Bank to all businesses, and the results are indeed exciting to the eyes. On funding though, the greatest challenge has always been the need to obtain cheap financing from either the local or the international market. Mr. Njihia's arrival signaled the urgency to get more financiers to help Sumac secure funds for its fledgling business streams. Locally, Sumac had the support from Micro Enterprises Support Program Trust, Development Bank and Credit Bank, who were all very supportive and consistent. Njihia's team began to reach out immediately and talks commenced with international financiers. The first of them came in the form of M-PESA from the Netherlands. Agreements were entered into, and before long, they had released their first batch of funding in the form of 200 million Kenya shillings. This encouraged Njihia and his team to begin an audacious assignment to identify and partner with other financiers to bolster the bank's financial muscle, and with it came new players in the form of Triple Jump, still from the Netherlands, who advanced Sumac Microfinance Bank 150 million Kenya shillings, or the equivalent of 1.5 million US dollars. Later, Sima LLC from the US also joined in the fray alongside one another financier in the name of Incofin from Netherlands as well. Njihia's team has continued to conquer the market, and it was only a matter of time before the organization went on to fulfill yet another objective, which was to draw a marketing strategy to help the bank enhance its visibility, reach out to new clientele, and instill a sense of trust and credibility to the brand.
We were assisted by a consultant, Brooklyn Media. They assisted us to draw a marketing strategy, and that's what we have been driving and we have been implementing that strategy. Yes, of course, we didn't have a robust website. We dealt with that. We were not active in social media. We also went into social media, the Twitter, the Facebook, mass SMSs to our clients. Yeah, so you can find us in most of those social media. Yes. At least I can say we have filled all the crucial positions because we had to move. There were some positions that we didn't have the skill that was required for the bank. We went into the market and hired. We continued with the training of the staff who are there, and even those who have recruited, we continued training them. And now we can say we have a personnel number of 65 so far.
The board of directors has also worked tirelessly to improve Sumac's coverage across the country. Initially, before Njihia arrived, Sumac had only 2 branches, one in Ngara at Mago House along Park Road in Nairobi and another at Nginyo Towers on Koinange Street. A few months later, due to demand from agribusinesses in Kiambu, a branch was opened in Githunguri town to cater for dairy farmers in the region. As Githunguri branch picked up pace, a need arose in Nakuru and the board was on the ground again, this time round ensuring a new branch was set up at Ndimu House, Kenyatta Avenue, Nakuru town. It didn't take long before yet another need arose from business people in Thika town who demanded their own share of the cake. Sumac couldn't let them down. The board of directors, with the guidance of CEO, did due diligence and finally settled on a facility along Mamangina Drive, Thika town. The Thika branch came into operation in late 2019 and is the new baby on the block. As the demand for various products increased, so did Sumac's ability to meet the challenge. Apart from various accounts and loan products, which are very essential, Sumac also has a very popular product in the form of Forex, which is extremely competitive in the market. Apart from that, the bank offers unbeatable asset finance, performance bonds, and insurance. On the accounts side, Sumac currently boasts of a high-yield savings account with an interest rate of up to 7%, which is unbeatable across the country. The bank also has a very attractive fixed deposit account whose interest rate of up to 13% is the best you might find in town. The current account is ideal for businesses that need to operate a very flexible account, and the call deposit account, Jipange account, and Jumuiya account are some of the other offerings that have made Sumac to stand out in the microfinance sector, a real giant in the making. The broad range of loan products now include business loan, Inua Biashara, Nafaka loan, Biashara Plus, Biashara Thabiti, landlord loan, Pepea na Karo, Sumac Asset Finance, bridging loan, Kawi loan, overdraft, Kilimo Biashara, and Jumuiya loan, which have been very critical to the sustainability of the bank's business model.
And we also have a current account. Our current account comes with a checkbook and also overdraft facilities you can also enjoy. Yeah, those are on the deposit side. Then we have the loans product. And among the loans, we have Biashara business loans. Yeah, we have Inua Biashara. We have Nafaka loan. We have bridging loans. Those are short term. If you want a month, if you have 2 months, if you want 3 months, those are short term bridge finances for those people who are importers and your goods at the port. You want somebody to assist you to clear them. You come to us, we give you a month or 2, you sell your goods, you repay your loan. Then we have the Kawi loan, that's for the renewable energy. As I mentioned, the overdraft facilities are there. Kilimo Biashara, for the farmers, Jumuiya loan for groups. We also have Biashara Thabiti.
Biashara Thabiti is essential for businesses that are strong and stable, but which will require funding for various expansion needs and improvement of stock. The landlord loan has been helpful to many landlords who find Sumac a haven for their development. They may require money from time to time to boost their real estate investments, and this is where Sumac comes in handy. Pepeana Caro is very popular with schools, colleges and learning institutions. Sumac Asset Finance is of course a king on these financial streets. Sumac has been awarded in recent months by the automotive industry as the best microfinance bank in automobile financing. And the story of greatness can't get any better. For Kilimo Biashara loan, Sumac emerged the best in the 2019 Think Business Banking Awards in the livestock and agriculture financing category.
Yeah, on profitability, I can say we have been profitable since I joined. For the last many years, we have been profitable. We have been returning profits, and the profit has been improving over the year. Yes, so we only want to fix some of the few things, and especially cost of funds that keep us eating too much of our cake. So we have been dropping that as we negotiate with our funders. Yeah, so that we can continue improving on the profitability. Yes. The board has been very supportive in me driving this business, and of course them doing the oversight. I can also thank my family who have continued to support me and also give me the space that I require so that I can put in some more time for the business.
Apart from the board of directors and his family who have offered him all the support he needed to thrive, Mr. Njihia is thankful above all things to the Almighty God, to whom he credits all his achievements so far. He also commends highly his team of managers and the members of staff who have gone all out to make Sumac Microfinance Bank the competitive financial institution that it is right now. The future, as it seems, is truly bright for Sumac Microfinance Bank. To be the CEO of a rapidly growing banking institution comes with its fair share of challenges, as Mr. Njihia discovered. And for sure, it requires that you stay on toes at all times. That is what Mr. Njihia has done for the last 5 years at Sumac Microfinance Bank.
If you are doing something that's not challenging, it's not worth doing. Yes, not worth doing. So it has been challenging, and I have to say that that challenge keeps us moving forward and thinking ahead. And it's a good challenge because as you continue doing the business and you see the business growing in all aspects, you get satisfaction that you require from the effort that you have done. Yes.
Further afield, Njihia appreciates the gains the bank has made so far from sustained profitability, increase in deposits, and the quality of the loan book. Looking ahead though, he is optimistic that Sumac will significantly raise its market share, which has continued to occur at a steady pace. With this in mind, Sumac's target is to move from Tier 2 of the sector to Tier 1 in the microfinance banking business in Kenya.
Okay, I can say that we have also been improving on our market share. The year 2018 we were at 2.2%, considering all the 13 microfinance banks. That's been in Tier 2, and Tier 2 moves from 2 to 5% of the market share, and within the next few years we want to move to Tier 1. So that's 5% of the market share and above. Yeah, so we are working very hard on that, and we have promised the board that in the next few years, we want to move the bank into Tier 1.
Moving Sumac Microfinance Bank into Tier 1 of the microfinance banking in Kenya is perhaps an aspiration that will continue to drive Njihia and his team to work harder every day. In 10 years though, a lot could happen, and Njihia is even more optimistic about the bank's prospects in the coming decade.
Yeah, we want Sumac to be known within Kenya and if not beyond. Every corner of the 47 counties of Kenya, we want Sumac to be there. We don't, of course, do brick and mortar all the time, but we'll have some regional branches within the 47 counties. Then we'll have technology that will assist us reach our clients. So we want to cover the entire country within the next 10 years.
In seeking to cover the entire country in the next 10 years, Mr. Njihia is convinced that some of the mechanisms already deployed through strategy will be essential in this important quest to reach all corners of the nation. He makes a case for agency banking to help take Sumac to every business across the country, and also the deployment of the various marketing activities to make Sumac known all over Kenya as the microfinance bank that is specific to the needs of business people working hard every day. He says that advertising the Sumac brand is equally as important as delivering on what the bank promises, and these are the key elements that will help drive this agenda. Mr. Njihia is convinced that through word of mouth, many businesses will eventually find a home in Sumac Microfinance Bank. In order to be conveniently accessible to all customers, Sumac has been working on deploying a state-of-the-art digital banking platform that will incorporate all forms of digital banking, which shall include mobile and online banking. This, Mr. Njihia says, will give the bank's customers the opportunity to transact at the convenience of their preferred locations. Already, Sumac is working with the Central Bank of Kenya to get this particular product approved, and as soon as it is done, the bank will be able to roll out the platform for its customers. Njihia hopes it will be soon enough since his team is raring to go.
We are now crafting and tweaking our mobile banking. We are going back to the regulator for some approvals on the mobile banking, because we want people to be able to open their accounts using their mobiles and operate it as well. Paying bills, you don't need to move from the comfort of your home, and even mobile loans. So we want also to give that product using a mobile.
Since officially getting licensed by the Central Bank of Kenya in 2012 to conduct business as a deposit-taking microfinance bank, Sumac has continued to endear itself to businesses and has conveniently served businesses in the country with dedication and commitment. As it emerged, Sumac is perhaps the first microfinance bank in the country to focus its entire efforts in empowering businesses in the country. Its mantra, as is seen on its logo, is that of empowering businesses. It is a convenient fit for a bank that seeks to make Kenyan businesses successful at all costs, in spite of the constant financial pressures that organizations face every single day.
Yeah, I can talk about the service that we give, especially to business people. If you want your loans to be processed faster, I can tell them to come to Sumac, because when you complete your part, of course, submitting all the requirements that are required, and if it's a logbook, it goes through the usual registration, joint registered. If it's a title, it's charged. You access your funds within the next 48 hours. Yeah, so we are very fast in that, and we pride ourselves for that. So we can partner within the businesses, and especially small and micro medium enterprises. We don't give consumer loans. We give business, and that's why we give. Our slogan is empowering businesses. So you have to have a business so that you are funded by Sumac. Yeah. The competition is stiff within the market. We have the commercial banks.
The commercial banks, he says, give loans at rates that are perhaps lower than those that you'd get from the traditional microfinance institution. Digital lenders who use mobile apps have also aggressively taken a share of the market, and that means Sumac must constantly fight aggressively to get more share of the existing cake. Shylocks too are a constant competing interest, and they too do their business aggressively.
I think I can say the service that we give to our clients, that's the reason they keep on coming back. So I keep on stressing to my staff and management that we continue giving that service, that good service, top-notch service, so that a client always thinks, when they think of being financed, they think of Sumac. Yeah, and they don't look even going to commercial banks. They come to Sumac. Yes. Just as the first case of COVID-19 was reported in Kenya back in March, and the government and the Ministry of Health gave some directives, and especially on the cessations of movements, and many businesses were closed, the schools were closed. We have continued to move with our clients, to work with them. There are those who are not able to pay, and they requested to be given a holiday.
Sumac has therefore had to find ways to help its clients in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic that has gravely affected all businesses. The loan holiday has been considered for clients who are adversely affected, and Sumac continues to find ways through which its clients can still be able to do business and pay back their loans in spite of the challenges that have been necessitated by COVID-19.
There are those who are also able to pay some amount. We have rescheduled their loans so that the amounts they are able to pay can be their installment. Of course, there have been also opportunities for other business people, and especially those who are in farming and those who are in medical supplies. They have gotten that opportunity, and they have come for financing. Yeah, so we continue seeing also business, and we'll continue working with our clients. And as I said, I can promise them that Sumac will work with them, even this period of Corona and even thereafter. Yes, we'll get back to normal, but it may take time in the world. It will take time, but definitely God is with us, and we will go back to normal. And we have to learn to do business with the new normal, because now this is the new normal. Yes. So as even the government tries maybe to open up the economy in the next few months or few weeks, few days, all businesses should try and do business as abnormal. Yes, in the new normal. So with the social distancing, wearing masks in the public places, regular washing of hands, using sanitizers. Yeah, all those will be with us in the next few months.
Jehia believes that as the new normal takes effect and as we continue to observe Ministry of Health regulations during COVID-19, Kenyans and the people of the world at large should be optimistic. He says this is a moment of adversity, and with it, every well-meaning person who wants to survive must hold his or her act together and carry on every day with hope that things will get better with time. For those who may have lost their income or whose businesses may have collapsed during this COVID-19 pandemic, Jehia advises that they have to fight and at least try to get out of their current predicament. There is always a way to fight all adversities, he says, and COVID-19 is just one of them. Just as it came, it will one day be eradicated.
I'll tell them that even if the business has collapsed, of course it started somewhere. It started from zero. And people need to gather courage and start again. And if they don't have capital, they can approach Sumac. And with a business plan, and of course we'll even have seen you represent the business you are doing pre-corona. We'll look at that and we can finance you to start afresh. Yeah, so encourage people just to come and let's have a dialogue together. Yeah.
As we wind up on the interview, it becomes clear that Sumac is indeed on a path to sustainability, and most of all, it is a bank that is destined for great things in the Kenyan market. Jehia's insights could only point to an obvious trajectory of a bank that means business, a bank for all businesses in the country. Jehia and his team has put in a good shift, and his leadership and work is highly commendable as Sumac keeps rolling one dice after another as a bright future beckons. In closing remarks, Mr. Jehia has a final promise to the stakeholders and the board of Sumac Microfinance Bank.
Yes, I would like to tell my stakeholders that Sumac is very strong, and it's continuing being stronger, and we are taking Sumac to higher heights. And sooner and very soon, even our shareholders will start leaping dividends.